we're looking to put a mentoring scheme in place, and it's a mentoring scheme for aspiring young business people within Surrey Heath, and we want them to be mentored by successful and track record proven business people from Surrey Heath. It's not prescriptive. There isn't a syllabus. What we want is that the mentors are capable of providing guidance, that they're able to assist the young people with problem solving and assist them with decision making. So why Surrey Heath Borough Council? Why are we involved at all? To try to say to business that we do want business in Surrey Heath, that the answer shouldn't be no, what's the question? And that's where Open for Business was born. And then really fitting within that was in that one of the strands of business that we wanted to support was entrepreneurs. So the first step of it clearly is simply the matching process. We have to get some businesses and some business people to volunteer their time. We have to get the schools and colleges to put forward appropriate young people, and we put them together. And we'll then provide an ongoing support, making sure that the relationships working between business and the young person. We'll note a lack of potential young people for the scheme. It really is to launch it to business rather than to the young people, and hope to get you to formally commit to that, or commit your potential availability, because we've got to match you with someone first of all, to support the scheme. And then obviously we'll go off and speak to the schools in a year's time, and we look back and say, what have we done? To a degree, we have a living example that sort of predates the scheme in Kevin at the end of the table, and we'll hear from him a little bit later as to how mentoring has helped him and his business aspirations.
But it's also appropriate we're in a school, because both Colin and I were educated in Scotland, and both of us had a particular type of education where, for example, in geography, you had a traditional map or atlas laid out, and one of the things you had to learn about the United Kingdom is which parts of the United Kingdom did what. So I remember a map which showed, the southern uplands of Scotland, and there was a picture of a sheep, meant that they grew wool there. And then the Stoke, there's a picture of pottery. That's exactly where they manufacture these things. There's a picture of Belfast, and rather poignantly, they had ships, as you would remember from Hylan and Wolf. Sadly, no longer. If you were recreating that atlas now, and you had Camberley, what you'd have were entrepreneurs, because this part of the world has more small and medium-sized businesses than any other part of the UK. It's a uniquely pro-enterprise area, and that's because history, travel, and connections with everything from Heathrow, London, and also centres of innovation like Siemens, Novartis, and Eli Lilly have been a sort of very effective nurturing ground or seedbed for small businesses. So whether it's people who are working as suppliers to big pharmaceutical companies, or who are in precision engineering and working alongside Siemens, or whether it's people who are property developers or plumbers or caterers, or who are running some of the world's best coffee shops, they are clustered in Surrey Heath. And one of the things that you learn in economics is the theory of comparative advantage, which basically means if you're good at something, then double up on it. And if you're a country that happens to be a trading nation, then you should concentrate on exports. And if you're a community that's strong on enterprise, then you should build on that advantage. And I think one of the things that we do have, and the group of people around this table is proof of it, are people who know what it is to succeed in business. Not everyone here is going to become a sort of potential dragon, like Bob Payton. Others are quite rightly content to keep a business small and intimate and family-focused. But the range of experience that you've got in Surrey Heath, from the thriving small business that has a character and a heart all its own, to the dynamic entrepreneur who builds up a chain, allows it to sort of become a fixture in the business world, and then moves on to something else. That range means that for young people who are thinking about life in the private sector, there's a huge array of wisdom to draw on. And that's, I think, the inspiration behind Pauline recognising that creating a young entrepreneurs club would provide people who, as they're looking at their GCSEs and thinking about university, all are also thinking, well, I want to learn, but I also want to earn. I want to build something. And Pauline thought, if they're going to build, then they can build on foundations which have been laid by others, and they can learn from others who can be their effective mentors. Because one of the things that I think unites almost everyone I've ever met who's built their own company is that they're proud of what they've built, but they also have a fellow feeling for other people who are in the same place or space. So if you've built your own business, you do want to help others to build their own, because you share that pioneer spirit. In the same way, to go back to geography, that one explorer always admires another explorer and will swap tales about what it was like to go where no man had gone before. So business people are always avid to find out from other business people what their experiences were. Did you have the same frustrations with the banks? Do you still find HMRC and VAT returns as painful as I do? Was it as exciting the very first day that you opened this venture? Isn't it inspirational when you take a young person on who may have been let down perhaps by circumstances, and then when they have a chance to work for you, you find something in them that allows them to flourish in a way that they might not have had the chance to before? That unites business people, and business people in particular, I think, are delighted to be able to say to young men and women who want to follow in their footsteps and to emulate them, well, fantastic. You know, I enjoyed it, and I built something, and I achieved an amazing sense of fulfillment, and I'd like to help you too. I'm far from the caricature of business people as wanting to elbow the competition out of the way, holding true. That doesn't hold true. In my experience, business people want to support one another, and they want to create a sort of thriving atmosphere for everyone who wants to create jobs and to create wealth and to create new opportunities. So that's why I think that Pauline's initiative is so good, because you can tap that reservoir of goodwill and that enthusiasm and make sure that young people have a chance to discover what the world of business has for them. And it may be that some of the young entrepreneurs who pass through this club may decide that rather than setting up their own business initially, that they're going to come and work with or alongside you, and you can both learn from each other and gain an enormous amount from having people who are ambitious with you. And it may be that people then themselves go on to set up their own businesses in due course. Exactly as Colin said, I don't think it's right to have a prescriptive view of what success should look like. Success will mean that everyone involved with this feels that they're getting something out of it and feels enthusiastic about passing on to their friends and colleagues an invitation to be part of a growing, pioneering success story.
I was just interested to see what opportunities, and the schools may already have opportunities for this, where I know a number of young people who have a flair for business, might not necessarily have an academic flair. Are there opportunities for what they're doing outside of the school world to be accredited or recognised and celebrated within schools, so they don't necessarily feel kind of the academic failure they feel, and actually their true personality to be kind of revealed? I know a number of young people for whom they're kind of the square peg in the round hole, saying, I'm not this person, I'm this person, I want to be this person. Can we, rather than failing at school and then going on to be entrepreneurs, can they be recognised as entrepreneurs in school? Are there opportunities for that, or I don't know?
There are. I mean, in a way, formal qualifications accredit what people have learnt in school, and they reflect the curriculum that's taught there. But good schools like Tomlinscote and others recognise the sort of all-round ability of students, and there are different opportunities, not through conferring formal qualifications, but through being recognised by the school and teachers for having particular talents. I don't know if Ian wants to say a little bit more about just the wide range of opportunities that a school like Tomlinscote has to celebrate what the students achieve.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, there are a range of opportunities, and obviously there are different opportunities pitched at different students and what they're interested in. So recently Zoe and myself were at the Duke of Edinburgh Award, which is a wonderful opportunity for youngsters to gain a range of experience, but also to put something back into the community. And I think that side of things has great resonance with the sort of young entrepreneurs we're looking at. We run our own young business opportunities here, and we have our young chamber here, where youngsters get involved in other activities of that direction. And for example, our Year 11, 270 of them are running a charity fair. It's about 2 weeks' time, isn't it? 2 weeks' time. And they will run opportunities, and they've got to make money, and they generate that for businesses, and there will be a range of creativity which if I remember rightly, last year the highlight was a row of glasses with ping pong balls. You had to get from one side to the other one, and if you did, you won a prize. And they were generating people to come and make money out of that. But actually there's a broader sense to that, and I think the education side of things is that you often get young people who feel they've been unsuccessful in what they might term to be formal education, but we're sat in a room here where we'll have youngsters training for football coaching. We have catering downstairs, we have construction, we have hair and beauty. And in fact, one of the beauties of a facility like this, which Zoe, before I was here, worked hard to achieve, was that it gives the opportunity for a whole range of youngsters to experience those sort of learning models and gain qualifications for it, while still part of a successful educational environment. So we're hoping to be working from saying, actually, it's not just about whether you have your communication skills, your literacy and so on, which of course are essential, but actually you have opportunities to see other things and to take part in other learning that maybe you will take on. So I think there is a more rounded approach to education that best practice shows, but there are also opportunities for different groups of children to make the most through the DFE, through the Young Chamber and other opportunities like that, that perhaps has got more than just we are a team working to win this competition. It's more about service, which is really important.
Turn around, Ben.
As Ben was saying, they've just finished their level 2, they're going on to level 3 with Mrs. Clark, who is their tutor. And I think they've done brilliantly. They're coaching for us these days. So I just wanted you to say hello to them, because I think they've done really well.
Really realised that there was an opportunity here, there was no vending machines, there was a word to buy sweets, etc. And then I started selling the sweets. And that's where it began, from where I'd invested the £2 that my parents gave, became 4 and then 8 and then just grew and grew and grew. I did this for a few months, bringing literally thousands of pounds of cash worth back home. My conservatory sort of become a warehouse. Mum used to drive me to London to go negotiate with the wholesalers to bring back sweets, and it sort of just became a business. And the beauty of doing it at that age was that business is so simple. Business was literally that I would go there, buy something for 50p, and I'd have to sell it for £1, and 50p left was the profit for me. I came into year 10. I was very fortunate to be part of the Young Enterprise scheme, which Pauline had spoken about. I was the managing director for a business called Capoeira, which was a branded clothing company. There was 12 of us, and we just basically made t-shirts which had the Capoeira brand on, and we sold it to the mats where we could with the Young Enterprise. And at the age of 15, because I was the account holder, but I was awarded the World's Youngest Entrepreneur through Barclays for getting my business account with them at the age of 15. Went to lots of banks at that point, but Barclays were the only one who, I still don't know how it happened, but we still got an account with them at that point. Which again, in terms of publicity, but in terms of self-achievement, I think, look what we've been able to do with a bit of hard work, with a bit of begging and emailing and pleading. You get the results if you really try. Sort of grown and grown and grown. We've rebranded now as Team Tops. That's what we still do. We specialise in printed and embroidered clothing. We have over sort of 50. Well, we take on students, college and university students as self-employed sales associates. So we have over 50 of them selling throughout the country our Team Tops gear, through to school, colleges, universities, and I mean it's just I can't explain the amount of the growth that the business has had. But more than anything financially, more than anything, to see how the business has grown, for me as an individual, to see how I've been able to develop over from starting when I was 11 at that point, today when I'm 19 here, I think the growth as myself as an individual has been massive.